Welcome to this tutorial about how to format notebooks and cells in notebooks. And what we want to do is we want to take the plain text of the books in our library and want to get them to readable and editable notebooks. And we want to give them a nice format, so a nice style. Separated in chapters, pages, titles, and plain texts. How to do that is very interesting because it's exactly the same structure as the internet with XML and the markup languages works. So, and we will translate XML, HTML, HTML and notebook cells later. So this will be very interesting and very important to know how these things work because that's the structure of the internet. So let's start. Go for a fresh document, and we have the MTP library. This needs to be checked. This is connected properly. This is a library we created in the last summarizing tutorial. We have the MTP book all names. These are all the books in our library. We have this selection menu. So we have the MPT book selection menu, we have that, so we select Christoph Alexander, MTP book selected. This is the selected book. All this works, so that's fine. Now we want to get the text, so this MTP book read as book as text of the MTP book selected. So we have the text of 1.4 million characters. To get for our experiments, we first want to have a page, so it's 1000 characters, for example. For that we have this mathematica command, it's called string take. We have this here, and then we say, for example, from 1000 to 2000, we want to have this fragment of text, so it's one page of our text. So this should be our text. Good. Now, about formatting. What we've seen is that we can, so if we, here, so if we write here, we have different styles. And if you want to write text is here. If we want to have circular, it's a code, then we go to code and input or input, and we can have different styles here. So this is, so now we start with text and the text style. And we can go for text color, red. We can go for face is bold. We can go for size, it's here, go for 18. So all this we discussed before. So the interesting thing now is that if you go here, select it, and then go for cell and say show expression, then you see the code of the cell. So if you can go make the same, go back. So this is rendered to a readable text. But the code producing this text is here. So you can switch and you can change it. For example, here, say hello, there, and then we are here. So, and you see how it works. You have the cell, that's an object from, that's how we can take the whole code. Let's copy it, go here back, and then we have this as code. It's check it, it's style, it's input, so it's code. So the cell goes from here to here. We have 3 elements of the cell. So we can check it and read it. It is a little, very few documentation available there, because normally you don't do that and you follow simply the the styles and layouts of Mathematica. So therefore I explain it more extensively. So you have that here. There are three elements, three principal elements. So first is the body of the cell. So this is the data. So this is the form, the content. This is the style. And then there are attributes. In this case, when it was changed or created, and then we have a unique ID so that you don't mix up cells. So this is to the system, so we don't need it if we want to write our own cells. So if we have this, for example, say this is my cell, hit this, make a semicolon, then my cell is this. Now I can print the cell and evaluate the cell. Then we have to say cell print of this code, and then we have the cell here. So, which is quite simple. So if we now say we want to have that 24, we want to have that, no, let it bold. Hello, and put that to blue, then this is different. This is how it works with formatting of notebook cells. So clear process, you get some formatting of text, you look it up, you make a function for that, and then with say print you can do that. If you want to have a variable, then it's like always with this, you can, for example, say make this is my cell. It's always capital letter if you make a function. You should do it, but it's not necessary. So then you, for example, say the size, and then you have to assign it like this, and then you say here size bold. So now we can say my cell of 12 of 36. Yeah, this is how it works. Okay, next step. This is a little tricky. You have a lot to read, and it has a very flexible and very adaptable structure. To be straightforward and get it simpler in structure for our purpose, I defined these functions. I prepared these functions. This is what we have here. Look at this. So we have the text, MTPF, so it's mathematical thinking, programming, formatting, text, format, bold, format, italic, and so on. So what you see is with text here, it's the cell, we have the text data as we need it here, cell text data, and then we put in the text and we take the style. So the style is text here, and text was hey. So we for example can use it like this, so MTPF text, we can say hey, and it should be text of style text. Then this creates cell text data, hey text. If we say cell print of this, then we have it here. Okay, now if you've seen that if we want to have it, for example, in another font weight, then we introduce the style box with font weight as an attribute. So this is what bold, for example, is doing. The style box take the string font weight bold. So which means we can say MTP F bold of this. This wraps our string. The string is here. It wraps the string with stylebox and font weight bold. So if we do that, it's bold. So now we can say MTP F color, do that and make it red. Then it's getting red. So now it's more straightforward and easier to use. Having that, we can say we want to have cell print of MTPF text, and then we want to have our book selected, MTP book selected. This is Christoph Alexander's pattern language, and we want to have that as a section, for example. Style as a section, which is here. So it's Christoph Alexander's pattern language. Let's go for style sheet and put it at the style sheet. Then we have this thing. So if we want to go and show our text, go here and say text. This should be text. Clean this. Then we have Alexander and we have our text formatted. Because section is grouping these things automatically. You see this is section, this is text. And this is the code to create that. Fine. Next step. Now we want to put these cells to a new notebook. To create a new notebook is very simple. Notebook, create notebook. Notebook. This creates a new notebook. So we can, this is a little, simply copy that. You can have this style sheet. Give this notebook style sheet definition, style sheet. Now it's with our style sheet. Good. And now, instead of doing this and say cell print to our own, we simply keep these things. So this is a code. Section. Okay, just take a title, give it here, and then we say how was it? So MTP book. Let's look for the title of the book. MTP book meta read of MTP book selected. Then we have the metadata, and we want to have the title, a pattern language. So we say title. It's an association, therefore we need one single square bracket. So this is a pattern language. So take that, put it here. So, and so we say subchapter. And we can do the same. And then we have the author and we have the chapter. If we evaluate that, we have 4 cells. That's it. So, and we can put that into a list. And say notebook, write notebook, the notebook we have created, specific styles addressed to this notebook, and here we are. This is our structure a structured output of text and structured text in a new notebook. Okay, this is what we want to do with the whole book, and then we have a nice notebook. But before that, we have to introduce the concept of a page. And what we want to do with a page is that we the system should be able to address and to jump to a space, to a page. The page should be a hyperlink and so on. And we will see how to do that. So first, it should look like this. So if there is, for example, this is a page, we want to have, now go for plain text. We want to say it's page number 1, for example, and it should be of Alexander PL. So, but this should be of a certain style. So for that we need to go and define a new style. So edit the style sheet. We are in style sheet as we defined here, MTP style sheet. Now we say we want to have MTP page as a new style. So, and this should be addressed to MTP page. So now we want to go, let's look for the toolbar, the ruler. We have selected this, and now we can go and put it in line with the text. We have it here, great. Good. And then we want to have a font format, show font. We want to give it to Roboto Mono. Good. We want to make it a little bigger, so that's good. We have it here. Okay, we can check the code of it. And you see cell margins, it's 105.7, so make it, I don't know how to improve that. So now it should be more precise. Having that, we are happy with this. We can install this style sheet and we say this is MTP style sheet. It's 2. Yes. So forget it. So we can reuse it. This is now a page, and we want to have that as an exception. We want to have hybrid formatting. So go for size. It should be bigger, and it should be bold. Bold. Here we are. So this is how it should look like a new page. So we also want, so let's start with this. If we have this, we can look what is the code for it. Copy it and go back. Now we have the MTP F page. No, we have simply say copy it here. So you see this is the code for it. We don't want to have a cell ID, so we can forget that. This is our code to produce. So we have a cell, we have a style box, 1 here, then we have the text, Alexander, and the type is MTP page. So now we want to get it in to a function. So we had this, if you go for information, of MTP F text, for example. Then we had the pure text. Now this how it works. You see it produces a text with a style. Here we have cell date and put the text here and give the style. So it simply translates it to this cell format. We need the similar thing. So we want to have this instead of this. Therefore, we create a similar function, mtp-f page, and we have the book name, and we have the page number. So, and this should create this cell. So, style box is here, so this is the page number. And this is the book name. But we wanted to have a empty space, a space before book name, so we can do empty space and then string join with book name. So if we now mtp-f f page of mtp book selected, this is Gustav Alexander, and we say we want to have 3. Then we get cell text data, and if we start cell print of this, then we get this layout. It's not working because we are in the wrong style sheet. So go for style sheet 2, and then we are here. So if we go for 12, then we get page number 12. So which means if we want to forget this again. If we want to go here and say this is a section with the book selected, we have the text, so we can say mtp here, book selected. We want to have the first page, and if we evaluate that, then we get Alexander, and here we are with the MTP page. Okay, what we want to do next is that this page should group the text below. So this is a little tricky how to do that, but we can play around. So go here and Shift O, then we get all the options for the thousands of options for either the selection, the notebook, or the global preferences. So now we go for selection, we have here, we go for group and cell grouping. So then we have more specific cell grouping. So, which means this is the option we are interested in. So we have normal grouping here, we have normal grouping here, and we have section grouping with the parameter of 30, which means, and we have here, you see 20. So that's section grouping, because these are sections, and then they have a certain hierarchy, it's 20. Here, there's higher hierarchy than the 30. So if we introduce here a hierarchy of, for example, 60, this should wrap this and be underneath the 30. So therefore, we can check it. So do it with section grouping. Now it's, you see, it's organizing, but it has no hierarchy, so it's getting out of here. So if we now go and say section grouping of 40, for example, so let's say 60, then you see we get what we want to have. So this is in this hierarchies of sections, because this is section, in these hierarchies, 20, 30, 60. So to inherit that, not and get it for all the MTP MTP page style, we have to go to the style sheet and do the same thing. Edit style sheet. This is our MTP page. So now we can go here. This is grouping rules, section grouping. Go here and say 60. Good. Now we are here. We can check it. Cell grouping rules, section grouping 60. That's it. Save it. No, install. MTP style sheet 2. Overwrite it. Good. Close all this, and now it should work. So get this here. You see, fine, and get write new text, and it's part of this page. So that's important. This is what we want. If we go and create it again, then here we are, it's working. But now we need here style sheet number 2. So, okay. Check whether everything is working, create a new notebook, style sheet 2, here, oops, and here we are. Perfect. That was the next step. Good. The page object. So what I introduced is 2 things. So the first is, this is what we discussed now, all this. Here we got cell tags. So we can go here and then say cell tag. And then you say, we want to have this as a cell tag, add, and then it's a kind of index, so you can hyperlink and find this page easily from outside. So you can, for example, we'll see that later. So then, and you can see these cell tags. Show all cell tags, it's always here, and then it's an address and hyperlink can go through. So that's important. This is introduced by this version of FTP page. And here we introduce, and it's too much effort to explain it step by step, that you have a button that goes to the hyperlink of this book and this page. So therefore, if we evaluate that, and now if we close it, this fine. So create a new notebook, go here, create this page, then you have to save it as, so then you can go here and then you copy that, and this is a hyperlink. So, but it's not working because we didn't save it as Alexander PL. So we have to put it in our library, save, desktop, library, Alexander, put it here, and we say Alexander PL as a notebook. Now we have saved that. Now it's working. So now if we can close it, everything. If we now take this parameter, it simply jumps here. Even if it's off, now we can go and open the book at this page. So to do that, to get these hyperlink to pages, we unfortunately have to expand the cell and all the structures to this extension. So, but it's good that we simply can say MTPF page book name page number, which is polymorph to in the same structure to use like this simple or the little advanced and now this hyperlink structure of pages. Good. This is the was the next step. Now go for a whole book. So now we want to take Christoph Alexander and create the whole book as a notebook. So for that we get the text. So the text is MTP book as text of MTP book selected. This is all the text. So we want pages of 2000 characters length. So the length is string length of text. So now pages is let's go, so we have a range. Let's go for the pages from 1 to the length in steps of 2000. So these are the positions of the first characters of the pages. So now the first page should be from 1 to 2000. The second from 2001 to 4000, the third from 4001 to 6000. So therefore we say partition, okay, 2, so we want to have it in chunks of 2, and the chunks, so we have that, so it's 1 to 2000, 4000, 6000, but we want to have an overlap of 1. Now we have that. Good. But we have double characters here, so with the last one we want to get one minus. So therefore we have to go let's look how it works. 1, 2, 2 minus 1, and map that pure function and map it to all the elements. Pure function, map it to all the elements. And here we are. So it's 1 to 2000, 2001 to 4000. These are the pages. So this we call that pages. It's this. Now, to get a page, string take of text, pages of 3. This is a text of page 3. If you go to page 32, it's it. So that's working fine. Now, we have to create the notebook. This is a notebook. Get it to the styles. So now we adapt our function here. This is a notebook. Okay. These are our functions. So we start with the title, author, title. We had that. Book selected. This is author, title, book selected. This is what worked pretty well. So this is, and this needs to be done. These two lines need to be done for every page. So go here. That's good. Okay. Now we have to loop these things over for all pages. So we have page number. That's here. and then we have the text. So the text is this. Copy, put it here, and then we have the page number. So which means if we evaluate that, we get okay, these are the cells. So, and we had notebook write to get the cells, notebook write, list, this one, close the list, close the function, notebook, this should work. Here we are. Page 1, text 1. So, and now we want to do, forget it. So now we want to do that with all the pages. Which means we have this, this, and say pages. How many pages do we have? Links, pages, 678. So therefore we have to make a range. So if we make, look at this, range, length, then we have all the pages. That's good. Take this function here and say we want to do it for all these pages. So now we will write in sequence for all the pages, and then we will see how he writes it. If we want to have it very fast, so let's try it. Now you see writing all the pages. That's fun. Stop it, it takes too long. So we can simply get rid of all this, rewrite it here. If you want to have it fast, then we have to create this list. So therefore we have to make the loop within the list. Put this, range, and make flatten. I think we need a flatten here. So which means we get a plain list of cells. So otherwise we get a list of cells, because this is already is a list, and if we map it, we have a list of lists, and to flatten it to a single list we need this command to this round. So which means we have notebook write of then all the cells of the book. So it's 1300, and then animate and write it. And here we are. So you see it's much faster. So this is our book. Okay, now we need some final tuning. Which, for example, is to close all the subgroups and so on, but you can look it up. This is a comprehensive function of all the stuff we learned here. So we have selection menu, Christoph Alexander, or now go to Aristotle. We call this function mtp book save as notebook, evaluate that. And here we can say, so this is the book selected now, because we have this menu. Look how it works. Simply that. Check it there. We have Aristotle, links, pages. So we can take this element, leave it here. We can go take this element, go here, take this, clean it, go. Is showing page number 27, showing page 1927. That's it. So now do it for all the books, and then create books for all, notebooks for all our library. This is a kind of update 5.0 to our library. Montaigne is a very a big book, therefore it takes longer. It's about 4 million characters. Here we are. Go for the card, all the same structure. Copy here. Okay, so now we can go here, open Aristotle, open the card with the page. And this is what we wanted to establish. It was a long tutorial, a long talk, but I think you got the idea how these things work, and it's amazing. So if you get it properly done, it's super simple to do, and then you get it done for the whole library. So you always have to be very careful and patient in the very detail, and then computers are not lazy, and you are fast and for the whole population of artifacts and manipulating them. But you have to be very careful in the detail. Hope you found it interesting, and see you in the next tutorial. We will do the same thing with web pages in the same way. Thanks you, and see you.